Now understand you have the pandemic, and then you have the administration that's doing something where I think they crossed the line, where it gets really weird, where they're saying what you were saying. They were trying to get you to take down vaccine side effects, which is just crazy.
I mean, basically, these people from the Biden administration would call up our team and like scream at them and curse, and it's like these documents it's all kind of out there.
Oh, did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we but I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails. the emails are published.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? We have Mark Zuckerberg here on Joe Rogan, and he is going to spill the beans on the Democrat Party, on the censorship that he experiences at the head of Facebook from the past administration. It's fairly eye-opening. It's nothing that those of us on the right side, I mean the right side, not the correct side, but I do mean that as well, have basically said was happening from the very start, but it's always nice to get it from Zuckerberg's mouth, okay? And no matter how you feel about the Zuckerberg or the reptile prince or whatever you're going to call him, he did come forth and he is standing too, but I will get that in a little bit. So let's go ahead and let's take a listen to this.
Yeah.
It just got to a point where it's just, okay, this is destroying so much trust, especially in the United States, to have this program. And I guess it was probably about a few years that I really started coming to the conclusion that we were going to need to change something about that. COVID was the other big one, where that was also very tricky, because, you know, at the beginning it was, you know, it's like a legitimate public health crisis, you know, in the beginning, and it's you know, even people who are like the most ardent First Amendment you know, defenders, the Supreme Court has this clear precedent that's like, all right, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. There are times when, if there's an emergency, your ability to speak can temporarily be curtailed in order to get an emergency under control. So I was sympathetic to that at the beginning of COVID. It seemed like, okay, you have this virus. It seems like it's killing a lot of people. I don't know, like, we didn't know at the time how dangerous it was going to be. So at the beginning, it kind of seemed like, okay, we should give a little bit of deference to the government and the health authorities on how we should play this. But when it went from, you know, 2 weeks to flatten the curve to, you know, and like in the beginning it was like, okay, there aren't enough masks aren't that important, to then it's like, oh no, you have to wear a mask, and, you know, like everything was shifting around. It just became very difficult.
It was very hard to believe anything when everything shifted the way that it did. And if you were paying attention to the CDC and the CDC's website, there were many times where that website would contradict what you've been hearing out in the public square. So honestly, it was a very weird time.
To kind of follow, and this really hit the most extreme, I'd say, during the Biden administration, when they were trying to roll out the vaccine program. And now, I'm generally like pretty pro rolling out vaccines. I think on balance the vaccines are more positive than negative, but I think that while they're trying to push that program, they also tried to censor anyone who is basically arguing against it. And they pushed us super hard to take down things that were true, right? I mean, they basically pushed us and said, you know, anything that says that vaccines might have side effects, you basically need to take down. And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that. Like, we're clearly not going to do that. I mean, that is kind of inarguably true.
Who is they? Who's telling you to take down things that
it was
that talk about vaccine side effects?
It was people in the Biden administration. I think it was you know, I wasn't involved in those conversations directly, but I think it was.
How difficult is that to not be involved in those conversations directly? Fitness isn't just about what you do in the gym, it's also about your nutrition, but even with the best diet, some nutrients can be hard to get, and AG1 can help fill those gaps. AG1 delivers optimal amounts of nutrients in forms that help your body perform. AG1 makes foundational nutrition easy because there aren't a million different pills and capsules you have to keep track of. It's just one scoop mixed in water. It's such an easy routine to keep in the mornings. Ingredients in AG1 are selected for absorption, nutrient density, and potency, and are intentionally picked to work in sync with the whole formula for optimal impact. They are seriously committed to quality. AG1 is tested for hundreds of contaminants and impurities, and they're constantly reformulating their recipe to dial it in. This is all part of why I've partnered with AG1 for years. So get started with AG1 this holiday season and get a free bottle of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/joerogan. That's a $76 value gift for free if you go to drinkag1.com/joerogan. Seriously, get on this. That's got to be strange too, right? Because you're running the company, but there's clearly you're moderating at scale that's beyond the imagination. The number of human beings you're moderating is fucking insane. Like, what's a Facebook? How many people use it on a daily basis? Forget about how many overall. Like, how many people use it regularly?
It's 3.2 billion people use one of our services every day.
That's
it's wild.
more than a third of the planet. That's so crazy.
Yeah, and it's
almost half of Earth.
Well, on a monthly basis, it is probably half. Of it. But
so I want to say that though, there's a lot of like hypercritical people that are conspiracy.
Just let's think about that for a second, okay? Facebook reaches almost half of the planet, and the Biden administration literally clamped down and told them what they could not say, okay, about COVID, about the vaccines, about just about anything, okay? And let's not come over here and think that Zuckerberg right now is some kind of a hero. He isn't, okay? And I'll go into that later as we listen to a little bit more of this. But, I mean, this is frightening. It's absolutely and utterly frightening.
Conspiracy theorists and think that everybody's a part of some cabal to control them. I want you to understand that whether it's YouTube or all these, whatever place that you think is doing something that's awful, it's good that you speak, because this is how things get changed, and this is how people find out that people are upset about content moderation and censorship. But moderating at scale is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
What we were talking the other day about the number of videos that go up every hour on YouTube, and it's bananas. It's bananas. That's like
And this is going to be one of those videos that goes up on YouTube. And do me a big favor, why don't, subscribe if you could, please, okay? I'm trying to hit 500 by January. It'd be great if you could help me out to do that, okay? So if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button.
try to get a human being that is reasonable, logical, and objective that's going to analyze every video. It's virtually impossible. It's not possible. So you got to use a bunch of tools. You're going to get a bunch of things wrong.
Yep.
And you have also people reporting things. And how much is that going to affect things? You could have mass reporting because you have bad actors. You have some corporation that decides we're going to attack this video because it's bad for us, get it taken down.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much going on. I want to put that in people's heads before we go on. Like, understand the kind of numbers that we're talking about here. Now understand you have the pandemic, and then you have the administration that's doing something where I think they crossed the line, where it gets really weird, where they're saying what you were saying. They were trying to get you to take down vaccine side effects, which is just crazy.
Yeah, so, I mean, like you're saying, I mean, it's so complicated, this system, that I could spend every minute of all of my time doing this and not actually focused on building any of the things that we're trying to do. AI, glasses, like the future of social media, all that stuff. So I mean, I get involved in this stuff, but in general, we have a policy team. There are people who I trust. They're the people who are kind of working on this on a day-to-day basis. And the interactions that I was just referring to, I mean, a lot of this is documented. I mean, because Jim Jordan and the House had this whole investigation and committee into the kind of government censorship around stuff like this. And we produced all these documents, and it's all in the public domain. I mean, basically, these people from the Biden administration would call up our team and, like, scream at them and curse. And it's like, these documents it's all kind of out there.
Oh, did you record any of those phone calls?
I don't think we but I think
I want to listen.
I mean, there are emails.
Those phone calls were recorded, okay? Those phone calls were recorded, but Mr. Zuckerberg is not going to let them out, okay? Believe me, all right? This has CYA written all over it, folks, okay? Don't think this guy has seen the light or anything like that, okay? This man is covering his ass.
the emails are published. It's all kind of out there, and they're like, and basically it just got to this point where we were like, no, we're not gonna take down things that are true. That's ridiculous. They wanted us to take down this meme of Leonardo DiCaprio looking at a TV talking about how 10 years from now or something, you're going to see an ad that says, okay, if you took a COVID vaccine, you're eligible for, for this kind of payment, like this sort of like class action lawsuit type meme. And they're like, no, you have to take that down. And we just said, no, we're not going to take down humor and satire. We're not going to take down things that are true. And then at some point, I guess, I don't know, it flipped a bit. I mean, Biden, when he gave some statement at some point, I don't know if it was a press conference or to some journalists, where he basically was like, these guys are killing people. And I don't know, then like all these different agencies and branches of government basically just like started investigating and coming after our company. It was brutal. It was brutal.
Wow. Yeah. It's just a massive overstepping.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
also,
I think
you weren't killing people. This is the thing about all of this. It's like they suppressed so much information about things that people should be doing, regardless of whether or not you believe in the vaccine. Regardless, put that aside. Metabolic health is of the utmost importance in your everyday life, whether there's a pandemic or there's not. And there's a lot of things that you can do that can help you recover from illness. It prevents illnesses. It makes your body more robust and healthy. It strengthens your immune system. And they were suppressing all that information. And that's just crazy. You can't say you're one of the good guys if you're suppressing information that would help people recover from all kinds of diseases, not just COVID, the flu, common cold, all sorts of different things, high doses of vitamin C, D3 with K2 and magnesium. They were suppressing this stuff because they didn't want people to think that you could get away with not taking a vaccine, which is really crazy when you're talking about something that 99.07% of people survive. This is a crazy overstep, but scared the shit out of a lot of people. Red-pilled, as it were, a lot of people, because they realized, like, oh, 1984 is like an instruction manual. I mean, it's like it shows you how things can go that way with wrong speak and with bizarre distortion of facts. And when it comes down to it, in today's day and age, the way people get information is through your platform, through X. This is how people are getting information. They're getting information from YouTube. They're getting information from a bunch of different sources now. And you can't censor that if it's real legitimate information because it's not ideologically convenient for you.
And there you have it, folks. Basically, this is Mark Zuckerberg coming out and basically saying that the Biden administration, the Democrat administration, basically came out and tried to make him give out the information that they wanted to give out. Now, let's be realistic, okay? He knuckled under, all right? He did knuckle under, and he did basically limit information, and he did basically bring let's just stick with limited information. He limited information that could have helped people and could have gotten people away from immunization and to more natural ways of healing. Okay, so this was just absolutely and utterly disgusting, okay, that the Biden administration went to these ends to try to get Facebook, who we've already stated reached, okay, at least almost, well, not at least, but almost half of the world, to get them to tell them what they wanted to hear, okay? That is totalitarianism, okay? And anybody who wants to scream and yell about fascism coming back under Trump and everything like that, I really hate to tell you, folks, but the fascism, the totalitarianism, the dictatorial attitudes was all coming out of a Democrat administration. Okay, so there's a reason why there are things there's folks like me out here screaming and yelling and telling everybody, hey, you got to look at this stuff, because if you don't, you're gonna miss it, and if you miss it, we're gonna lose, okay, our republic. And there it is. Okay, so thank you guys for listening today. Hit that like button, hit that notification button for when I post again. Give me some comments, guys. Love the comments. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you all very much. Later.